So today we celebrate the feast of St. Thomas Aquinas. He was one of the greatest theologians of all time. He lived a short life from our, considering how long we live today. He lived from the year 1225 to the year 1274, so 49 when he died. And Thomas is famous. He wrote Summa Theologicae, the summary of all theology. But interesting, for the last 7 years before Thomas Aquinas died, he put his pen down and said, I'm never going to write another word, because he came to the conclusion that the greatest knowledge we can have of God is to know that we do not know. To know that we do not know. And how often people like me and all of us think we know exactly what God is like. And there was St. Thomas at the end of a very illustrious life, the last 7 years, saying, the greatest knowledge we have of God is to know that we don't know. God is way beyond our comprehension. And we must never think that we know exactly the mind of God. I mean, we don't. And so that's why we got to be open to God in all circumstances and be prepared to say in all circumstances, well, God knows best. God knows what He's doing. And it's not for us to work out the reasons why this happens or that happens. And especially, to use a phrase that we often use, it's the will of God. We don't really know that. We can't speak that with any great certainty. So it's a good saying that actually that Thomas came up with towards the end of his life. The greatest knowledge we can have is to know that we don't know. So when we try to figure out things and think we understand, it's much better to say, I accept whatever. I know God knows best, and God will look after me, even though I may not understand what is happening in my life now. And so if we apply that to what is happening in the world at the moment, God knows best, and like everything else in this world, it will pass. And in the meantime, all we have to do is live each day to the best of our ability and stop worrying and leave the rest to God.